Hey guys, Dr. Nick here. Today was day 5 of my Alpstein clinic internship. It was the last day and it was really fun. It was really enjoyable and it was a little bit sad to leave. Overall, I had a great day. Again, went through different therapies, saw different patients, and saw some progress of patients over the week. And I even saw some testing that came back on those patients, which was great to see because we can track them from the first day versus a kind of a week later and see how they're progressing just in general with doing the infusions, doing the different therapies, injections, everything else they're doing at the clinic. And at the same time, one of the key things or cool things that happened today, that happens actually every Thursday with patients, is that they have kind of this round table discussion, if you want to call it that, or they have all the staff, the majority of the staff, so the head physicians and the nurses come together and they actually discuss each patient that has come internationally and even more difficult cases. They discuss the cases for those patients. They go over a treatment plan and they kind of battle back and forth, if you want to call it, in terms of what each doctor thinks might be the best, or even from the nurse's perspective, what the nurse sees might be best for the patient. Because a lot of the times the nurse sees them more than the actual doctor, because they're doing therapies and they see how they react to them too. So that's a great thing. And also during that time frame when we're talking kind of as a group, the doctors really explain to each other what they think is going on. Also, they explain to the nurses, even in terms of the assessment tools that they do, so the nurses have a better understanding of what's going on with that patient from the doctor's perspective and what the doctor's kind of thinking about in terms of going forward. So with that, after we kind of as a group, and I was kind of allowed to sit in on that and actually was asked a few words about each patient in terms of what I think, which I really appreciate because it's not my patient. I don't want to um, I don't want to impose on what they think is going on and how they treat their patients, because they really do take good care of each patient and really put a lot of effort into each patient so they can actually get them better, get them to have their life back on track as soon as they can. But today, what happens after we talk about the patients is that the physical patient actually comes into the room with the staff, so with the head physicians, the nurses, and then me, and then um, ask the patient, do you have any questions, any concerns about what's going on in terms of treatments? And then they come to an agreement and they actually physically talk about the therapy or the treatment that's going to go on while they're there, or if it's for time for them to leave, in a sense, then they give them a plan for the next 3 to 6 months, depending on when they might come back and how they might be able to do some of those therapies at home. And even if there's an open minded doctor locally, Dr. Ralph even told me in the appointment today that he would then prepare kind of a sheet, even for, like, say, injections or whatever it is, to say, like, with a kind of a map in terms of anatomy of like where to inject it, how much, etc., for that doctor, in order for that patient to be able to do that therapy at home and get some benefit from what they're doing. So overall, like I said, they go over the treatment plan, make sure the patient understands it, so they're on the same track, they're comfortable with it, so then when they go home, they're not overwhelmed by anything, but they're actually at peace and sure of what they're going to do for the next 3 to 6 months, and then they can have follow-ups as kind of needed in that time range. So that was really fun to see, and I saw that the patients really enjoyed that fact in terms of being able to ask their questions, to get their concerns answered, and also they really appreciated that the time that the doctors put in to that treatment plan. So that was a great experience too, overall. And then I guess lastly, another cool thing today too is that I think every Thursday in the morning, the team in general has brunch together. So the whole kind of the whole um, clinic, all the staff they're in the staff room and they have the kind of a brunch, or they bring kind of breakfast together, and they have that for the first 30 minutes of their day. So that's why the clinic is closed, say from 8 to 8:30, so everybody can enjoy themselves and kind of chat a little bit, and that brings more camaraderie. So from what I've heard from a lot of the patients, and also from the staff, nurses, anybody I talk to, they really enjoy the environment because of the homeliness that it is, the family environment, and also the patients feel that it's not exaggerated in terms of the amount of people that are in it, in terms of the amount of staff. It's a good size because it is a 5-story building, if you want to consider it that way. So there's a lot going on there, but it's still that family vibe where they feel comfortable and they feel taken care of as a patient, and even going forward. And I again appreciate every doctor that they always try to make sure that the patient feels comfortable and understands the results that have come in order to understand the projected timeline of what's going to happen next in terms of treatments. So again, great experience. Dr. Ralph, Dr. Cole, Dr. Joseph, all the nurses, all the staff that was there, they really made me feel at home, really took care of me in that regard. I really opened their kind of their homes in a sense to me in that place, and I really appreciate it. It was a great experience. I learned a lot in different ways, and I'm so excited because this is my goal one day to be able to bring something of this nature to Canada, especially Toronto. I want to do something like this because I know I have so many ideas now running in my head, and now I need those wheels to keep going and to kind of project things for myself in terms of what I want to do next and how I want to approach it. Because in order to bring something of that nature, it takes some time and effort, but I know one day it will happen. As I said before in the previous video, please hold me accountable because I want it to happen, and it will happen. It might take some time, but I know we can bring this to Canada in terms of these types of therapies and even other kind of world-renowned therapies that have maximal benefits. It's not just about having a big name in terms of a therapy, but it's about having a therapy that's going to be utilized for the patient, and it's going to help that patient. And that's my major goal, is always helping my patients get better, finding different ways, and finding the most economical, because of course these types of clinics can be expensive because of what they do in terms of how they approach things, because of course Switzerland is just a more expensive country. But the whole point is that they really focus on the patient, and again, the time you spend with each patient is really gets me excited again, because then I know I'm on the right track, because I try to do this also with my patients, give them my time in order for them to understand what's going on, so we have a proper plan and they're on the same page moving forward, so there's no kind of miscommunication. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen. And I've seen with the Alpstein Clinic, they really work as a cohesive unit. There's no kind of separate entities or individuals. It's always team, and that's my goal in the future, is create an ideal team that we can work together on patients who are suffering from a complex chronic illness. And one day hopefully I'll be working towards cancer. It's not my specialty yet, but I've learned even through here different ways of approaching it. But again, great experience. So glad to be in Switzerland, so glad to be in the Goss region, where I was with the Alps. And I guess until next time. So for now, my story in Switzerland is done at the Alpstein Clinic. However, my connection isn't done, and there's so much more to learn, so much more to do with Dr. Ralph and his team here at the Alpstein Clinic. And I'm going to continue learning, because that's what I do, because I just want to become better and better and better, not for myself, but for my patients. And that's my goal overall. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and bye from Switzerland for now, or well, from the Alpstein Clinic, and we'll see you back in Toronto.